Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today I thought we'd do something cool. So I actually started playing GT7 on my son's PlayStation account, and I had no idea what I was doing back then. And if you guys watch my earlier videos on GT7, you know I never did circuit racing. I was coming from oval racing only, and I had no idea how to do like road circuit stuff. I was extremely bad. I was terrible, and I needed to learn a lot. So fast forward to like 6 months from now, and you know, I worked my way up. I really practiced. I learned. I definitely improved from where I started. So you know, and I also ended up creating my own account because when I first got GT7, I was kind of thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna want to play GT7. I was doing iRacing only. I was doing oval. I wasn't into circuit racing. I picked up GT7. I picked up PSVR2, and I honestly was not expecting to stick with it. You know, I did some videos, and I thought like, okay, I'll do some videos on this. This is a new game, new VR headset. I love VR, but I was not planning on sticking with it. So 6 months later, it's literally been like 5 months, maybe 6 months, and it's been the only thing I've really been playing. So, you know, I did work myself up to A class. I started my own account, and I was like, okay, I actually need my own account now. I can't keep playing on my son's account. Like, I'm legit going to keep playing this game. And, you know, for me to keep going with content, I don't want to, like, use my son's account, you know, and all that stuff. So I created my own account. So I figured I'm going to go back to that first account when I started, which was still in C class. And I was like, I wondered going back to C class, what would I be like driving in C class? Would I actually be able to like lead? Would I be able to win? Is it like, did I really improve? Or if I went to C class, I could still get beat really easily. And I didn't really improve as much as I think I did. So I figured I'm going to do a race in C class and see what happens. Now, I was lucky enough to get pole. I was actually hoping to, well, actually going in C class is kind of good. I was in pole, so then I don't have to worry about any messes in the middle of the pack. But I was like, all right, there's definitely going to be cars that can probably catch me. I'm not the fastest driver out there. I just like to work on consistency. This is, we're at Atlanta, and this is not actually, I'm not that great at this track. I'm not that fast. And there are parts where, you know, I do find a little risky, and I do have the ability to lose the car if I overdrive it. So it's all a matter of staying consistent and just knowing what your limit is. So, you know, hopped into the race. I started pole. And as you can see the race, you know, P2 is kind of not that far behind me at the first couple laps here. So he's still kind of, you know, I can still see him in my mirror, right? So I'm not feeling safe yet. We're on lap 2. I know like any little mistake, and I can lose it here, right? And I don't want to finish last place. I'm going back to C class here, driver class rating C, and it's gonna look really bad if I lose this race or get thrown to the back or make a mistake. So this video is also about, you know, anyone else who might be struggling and moving up in class, thinking you can't get better or you can't do this. Trust me guys, if you go back to my beginning GT7 videos, you will see how bad I actually am. I had no idea really when to even shift gears. I had no idea, you know, how to really brake appropriate spots, where your braking markers. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to roll through corners. I didn't know how to handle the best lines. Like I said, I was just an oval racer. So doing oval racing, and let me tell you guys, if you never did oval racing and you only did circuit, oval racing is really fun. It is extremely fun to do oval racing because you're high speed the whole time, and often side by side or front to back with other cars at top speed. So, you know, there's a different skill level. While you're doing circuit stuff, you know, there's braking, there's really, you're some of these turns, you're literally like just rolling through it. But when you're doing oval racing, you're pretty much full speed the whole time. Yes, you will use braking. Yes, you will roll through corners. But even then, you're still trying to keep your speed and momentum as fast as possible. And you're never really slowing down like you slow down in circuit racing. So definitely a different technique, a different way of racing. And to learn an oval track is obviously you only have like 4 turns, right? You have 4 corners. You go in one, you go out one, you go in one, you go out one. So it's also not as much to practice and learn. Yes, it takes time to get good at it, but you can hop into a race pretty quickly and just know, you know, maybe not be the fastest, but you'll be able to hang. Circuit racing is so different. Like you really need to put the time in to practice. You really need to put the time in to learn the track, to learn, you know, the proper braking markers, the proper lines. And for other cars, if you're going to race near other cars, knowing the driving line is really important. So the biggest thing with circuit racing and road racing is spend the time to learn the actual tracks like the back of your head. You don't want to be guessing when you get to a certain spot. Oh man, is this spot coming up? When's it coming up? You want to know it between the back of your head. And I've spent hours and hours and hours per track learning different tracks that I race on, that I'm comfortable on racing now. I literally put in hours before I actually would hop into a race. Now, Road Atlanta, I've raced before, so I was familiar with this track. I didn't need to put in hours and hours and hours to learn the track. I just did a couple of laps just for qualifying, and then I kind of hopped into the race because I know the track. So it's not a track I'm not familiar with, and I learned it from GT7. I learned it from Gran Turismo 7, which is where I learned all my circuit stuff. So if I go back to iRacing and do some tracks there, it's only going to be tracks that I actually learned how to drive in GT7. But here we are, lap 5 of 7. I'm still hanging. Now, I obviously you can see the video, but racing in PSVR2, and that's another thing I'm going to touch upon really quickly. I just recently picked up a Quest 3, and I did some videos on that, and I still love PSVR2. I still love GT7 in VR. I think this game is so good in VR. Even if you want to, fault some of the downfalls of it with certain things you can't see in VR on the menu, or they have 60 hertz reprojected to 120. Like, all of that out of the way, it's still an awesomely wonderful VR experience. Every time I put the headset on, even after going to a Quest 3 on my 3080 CPU, doing iRacing, doing Automobilista 2, GT7 still feels fresh. Looking at it in a VR perspective, the game itself, I just love the game. I love everything about it. I really enjoy it. I love the daily races. I love that they're quick. I love that they're 10, 15 minutes and you're done. I love that if you mess up in a race, you can hop into another one right after, like a couple minutes later, you'll start the next one. I love the layout. Yes, there aren't as many, races going on as something like iRacing that has so many different races all through the day at different tracks, different cars, different styles. I love the simplicity. I love the ease of just hopping into daily races. With the GT7, you have the race B, which is a shorter one. You have race C if you want to do something a little longer. I personally prefer the shorter races. I like to just get in, do some racing, get out. I also like the shorter races because if something does go wrong and something does happen, you don't just race by yourself in last place for like 20 minutes where you're kind of out of the race and there's no like catching up. And I'm not someone that's a quitter, so I always stay till the end. Even if I'm in last place and I have no chance of even getting anywhere better than that, I'll race by myself in the back for 20 minutes till the end. But like in a shorter race, the good thing with a shorter race is you can just, if you're in last place, you're in the back, you screwed up, you ran off the track. The best thing about it is it's not that long of a race. You just hang in there for a little bit and then you start a next race, really fast. So, it's all about consistency, running good laps, learning the track, and just keep working at it. And as shown here, going back to C-Class, last lap, I'm in first place. I have a nice lead here. I don't even see P2 in back of me. We're going to come around here, and I'm actually going to, lap a car. So we're actually lapping someone. I don't think I've ever lapped anyone since I've been playing GT7, but it just goes to show you if you put the time in and if you really want to actually looking at the replay, P2's actually still there. There is a P2 not that far behind, so not that bad. But, it does show you that, you do improve, you do get better. Then you go back and you're like, wow, this is where I started. But, you can take a win there, with no problem. But when you were starting out in that C-Class, C driver rating, you were like, wow, it's this is really hard. But anyway, guys, just wanted to see what it was like and go back there and see what would happen if I went back to a C lobby. And there you go. It also took the fastest lap. And like I said, I'm not the fastest at this track, and it was just all about consistency. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thumb it up, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.